What's good? I'm BT, and I'm just talking about life in general. I talk about various different topics on this channel, but the topic of discussion on this particular video is do not quit your 9 to 5. Why do I say this? You know, I know a lot of you that may have clicked on this video, you like, well, why wouldn't I want to quit my 9 to 5, man? I'm feeling like I'm underpaid, overworked, I'm stressed out, I'm overlooked. They hired somebody externally, for the position that I wanted, and I'm feeling undervalued, right? But it's a few things to consider, especially if you have various different things going on financially. And I'm not just saying just to be scared or just take whatever's being dished to you at a place that you feel that you're not being appreciated at. But if you do decide to like move on, and I don't care at what age you're at listening to this, definitely make your next move your best move and just consider all these different things, right? You got to make sure that the pay is right. You got to make sure that that it's a good fit for you. You definitely do your research, do your due diligence to find out the company. Definitely get your negotiation skills up, because most times when you transition to these other companies, they definitely don't want to pay you as much, and you very well could be in the same position you left from, so as far as like pay. Maybe sometimes if it's not being frustrated or underpaid, or in a space where the job is not the situation, maybe you feel like you want more out of life and you want to transition from your job to being a content creator, or some type of influencer or whatever, right? And these are definite things that you definitely want to consider too, because you got to think about all these different things. Like surface level, they look cool and nice. You may be going to these foreign lands, or you may have a certain amount of freedom, and if you're especially an influencer, maybe you're definitely dependent on brand deals and all these different things, right? And I don't care at what age that you're actually looking at this video, whether you young or old, especially for all you young folks out there, it's not easy. It's definitely, you definitely want to build up a clientele, or you want to build up a reoccurring customer, so you keep that income consistent. Things that you need to pay for, like whether it be like your rent or your light and gas, and or if you got a car note, all these different obligations that you may have that's reoccurring every month. And I think a lot of times when people are in certain head spaces, they just don't really think about these, or maybe they're pushed to a limit, to the point where they feel like, man, I just gotta go. No plan B, no nothing, no safety net. I'm just I'm gone. And that's just not the way. All these things you just have to consider if you're trying to transition from a 9 to 5. Even though a 9 to 5 may have benefits, it may have a consistent amount of hours, it may have a ton of headaches. You may have a manager at your job that may be micromanaging the stuff out of you, man. You like, man, I hate it here. I'm tired of it. But you gotta think about it, man. And if you plan on transitioning out with no type of safety net, or just no plan, you really definitely setting yourself up for financial turmoil. You're gonna have a lot of hardships. So plan accordingly, if that's what you want to do. It's crazy because a lot of us like think about these things all the time, right? And we got this notion of either hitting the lottery, or creating a YouTube channel, and gaining a ton of subscribers, and living our best life, because all this AdSense money is gonna be free flowing, and man, we're gonna be just well off and whoop-de-doo. And it just don't work like that, especially on YouTube. It just don't work like that. I remember me and my wife was planning on actually taking this influencer. This guy was literally, he had like hundreds of thousands of views on his YouTube channel, and lo and behold, man, to stop your 9 to 5 and become an influencer, and with anything, you definitely have to build yourself up. You got to get your clientele up. You know, you got to, if your side income is exceeding what you're actually making at your regular job, and it's taking more of your time from your regular job, then that'll be a good show of actually transitioning over to whatever you're trying to do. But if it's like sporadic here and there, don't do it, because you definitely will regret it. Whereas if you couldn't, you know, pay bills like you did if you had your 9 to 5, you know, and I'm not saying that a 9 to 5 is bad, but it's stable. But if you're going to be an entrepreneur or anything like that, you definitely got to plan accordingly. Because I got a few friends, quite a few friends that are entrepreneurs, and they told me that this life is not for everybody. And I'm gonna leave you with this. And years ago, I had 2 guys that worked at my job, and they actually working for one of the bigger cell phone companies. They actually ended up working in their marketing department, right? They noticed something with the actual cell phone company's marketing strategies and how they handle their clients, right? And they treated their clients with, you know, a bare minimum, man. But just by them having the reputation of this big cell phone company, you know, that just kind of solidified, you know, who they were. So lo and behold, you know, they actually just kind of like start learning the ropes, and just like, man, we can actually do this on our own, right? And, you know, essentially, you know, they start transitioning to doing their own marketing company, and actually reach back to like some of the big cell phone companies' clients, and actually just took them and literally, you know, built up a company, literally to the point where they had to get a building. And then a little bit after COVID, they sold the company, because the client base that they built up, which is so big, and it happened so quick, you know, they was able to sell the company for a life-changing amount. And I was like, wow. You know, so that just kind of goes to show you, you know, sometimes you know, a 9 to 5 can actually, you know, transition you to other things. And you know, just keep your head on a swivel, man. You know, set yourself up for success if you potentially are trying to leave your 9 to 5. But if you are at your 9 to 5, you know, just think about what ways that you can actually make extra money, not to the detriment of your regular job, but just see what you can do, you know, to set yourself for success if you do, or if you are potentially transitioning from that regular 9 to 5 to like your own business, right? You know, and these are things that I would definitely say that will help you once you transitioning from your regular 9 to 5. But if you feel like you just want to stay at a 9 to 5, it's consistent, it's nothing wrong with that. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Because I had a friend that literally, you know, he's working for this telecommunications company. He was showing me like the amount of money he was making and all this and whatever. And surprisingly enough, this telecommunications company was being funded by the U.S. government. And then once, you know, that U.S. government aspect kind of fell off, man, it hit him hard. And I don't know how he's doing now, but I know the amount of money that he's making then is far less than what he's probably making now. So don't let somebody hype you up. Don't let somebody trick you into financial turmoil. So, all right, y'all. I appreciate y'all hearing what I gotta say. And if you're in this kind of space, man, just be patient and work diligent to, do what you need to do to transition. Keyword, transition. If y'all like this type of content, subscribe. If you had a friend or a family member that was talking about this, if you got a spouse, loved one, or whatever, give them this video. I hope, somebody such as myself kind of resonates with, where they at in their thought process on, transitioning from a 9 to 5. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.